Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dychronic. Yours here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be showing you where the Xur is, random rolls, all his inventory, all that whatnot for May 22nd, 2020. So you can find the Xur in his regular location on Nessus. Just head over to the Watcher's Grave, and on top of this gigantic golden barge, I still get comments about where the hell the Xur is. You can find the Xur. This is a high overview of everything that he does have available in case this is all you cared about. Starting up, let's talk about the weapon. The Cerberus +1, very special, interesting exotic, where basically it shoots a spread of shots from all gun barrels at the same time, and when you aim down sights, it actually makes it a little bit of a tighter spread. In essence, this is kind of like a shotgun auto rifle put together, but more of a primary ammo kind of damage. On top of that, the catalyst also makes it so you can swap to a tighter close range spread. However, I really don't like that tighter spread because it's tighter and close range, and honestly in close range I want it to be wider, so it doesn't really make much sense to me. This weapon honestly is a whole lot of fun because again, it is kind of like a shotgun plus an auto rifle in one. However, it does not do better DPS than an average primary ammo weapon. In that respect, past the mid-level stuff, you know, like the higher strikes or the lower nightfalls, this weapon just doesn't have that much efficacy. But it's a fun gun, and it also does have an ornament that makes it look newer. As for the Hunter exotic, we have the Celestial Nighthawk, my #1 favorite PvE exotic for hunters and probably PvE exotics at all, and that's because it basically modifies the golden gun to fire a single high damage shot that takes all 3 of those shots into one shot and does 6 times the damage. And on top of that, the enemy explodes and grants you super energy, gives you about a third of your super if you get a kill. This thing is incredible for raids. Pretty much anytime you're doing a raid, regardless of what's going on, having more Celestial Nighthawk hunters is always a benefit. Even in things like Grandmaster Nightfalls, this thing is incredible for elite slaying. Killing those champions in one shot to the crit is absolutely insane, and you also get your super energy back if you get the kill. So it's a very, very good exotic. You should definitely get one if you don't have it. As far as the roll goes, primary and intellect, definitely great for this exotic. Secondary and resilience is never good for anything. It's actually primary resilience, but never good for anything, so maybe like an averaging roll for a very above average exotic that has a very, very scary ornament. As for the Titan exotic, we have the Mask of the Quiet One. I like to think of this as a kind of a poor man's one-eyed mask, where it grants ability energy when you're damaged, and critically wounded, you regain maximum health on kills. Now this actually sounds like it would be better than the one-eyed mask, but I found it so inconsistent. Every time I get a kill while wounded, I don't get max health on kills, and it's just kind of weird that it does that. Even if it were to do that, one-eyed mask now has an overshield, and that is quite powerful in its own right. It's not really something I'm a fan of for pretty much PvE or PvP. It's just kind of averaging. As far as the roll goes, strength is always good for, you know, being close range, critically wounded, and then recovery is always good for PvP. So an above average roll, for my opinion, an averaging exotic. Does have an ornament, make it look a little bit more goblin-y. And finally, moving on to the warlike exotics, we have the Carne Steam Armlets. In my opinion, a dangerously underrated and underused exotic in Destiny 2. Melee kills instantly restore a large amount of health and continue to restore health afterwards for a short duration. Not only do you get nearly full health from just meleeing a target, that restoration is like standing in a healing rift for a full 8 seconds with no interruptions. Which is why I say this is dangerously underrated, because if you can get 1 kill in the Crucible, you're instantly getting your health back and have 8 seconds of healing rift-like restoration. Even in PvE, being able to get in there and get a lot of healing is something powerful. However, I would not recommend it above Master Nightfall difficulty. As for the rolls, primary and recovery is excellent for this exotic. It's all about regenerating as fast as possible, being very good at getting your health back. Secondary and intellect is always nice to see, so I'd say definitely an above average roll for a very above average exotic. And one last thing I want to mention, but you can't actually see it until you use it, but the melee kills for the Vampire's Caress, you actually get red claws whenever you melee an enemy, which is actually really cool to see. And it also has an ornament that makes it look less good. Outside of that, make sure you pick up your 5 of Swords so you can get high scoring Nightfalls on the regular Nightfalls, picking up your Invitation of the Nine for some powerful gear and some lore from the tribes, and then finally an exotic engram guaranteeing you an exotic from a world drop that you do not have with a very high stat roll. If you did not know, every single exotic that drops in the game, well, it's gone. Every single exotic that drops in the game will give you a high stat roll. So for example, this is one of the ones I got in a previous week, having a 64 stat distribution. So it's always nice once you have a ton of legendary shards like me, nearly 10,000, to just kind of use them on that exotic engram so you can finally get yourself a very good high stat roll in Teus Wards, for example. Man, I just got like 10 10s sitting everywhere just being like, hey, I'm impressive, and I'm like, nah, who cares? Alright, well, that's gonna be the end of it. That is the Xur. If you guys did enjoy, let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, any concerns. If I missed something, let me know in the comments down below. But that's it. My name's Nighthawk, and I'll see you guys on the next one.